Good morning, you're watching this week's Serious Social, and today we're going to be talking about agencies. So CJ, you've got a philosophy that you can't have a football team with only one player. What do you mean by this?
It's a bit of a dig at other agencies, if I'm honest. It's something that comes up whenever we take over client programs, and new prospects regularly talk to us about this. And it's based around the principle that all too often they're working with agencies, and sometimes big international agencies, who only possess one person who has social media knowledge. So the analogy is, if you were going to buy a football team, you wouldn't buy a football team with one player. Irrespective of how talented that player is, you would want a team. Social media is no different from that. But there's a lot of PR agencies, media buying agencies out there who are sort of diversifying at the moment. But that diversification, if you strip it back, whether they're now calling themselves a content agency or whatever, they're largely still existing with the same PR team, but with one social person added to the ranks. They're a one-person football team.
So given how fast social media is moving and changing, that means that we need a team to implement these changes.
Absolutely it does. If you just think how far social has come in just the last 5 years, and whilst it's now a cornerstone of what brands are doing, I don't believe we've even scratched the surface with its capability. It will continue to evolve. Jeff Bezos recently did an interview with Business Insider and out in Germany, and he made the point brilliantly that although the internet was built ages ago, it's only existed at scale in sort of the last 10 to 15 years. And what he says is society, the human race, civilization, we've still not understood how to use it yet. There's still loads that we need to figure out. He made the point that there's wonderful opportunity with the internet. So, for example, you can look up on Wikipedia anything in just 5 seconds and the information is there. That is amazing opportunity. But undoubtedly, we're going to figure out new ways of working if needs be, and new ways of delighting customers. And social media is no different to that. Changes literally happen daily. Having one person within your team who's tasked with, I don't know, looking up TechCrunch and emailing the whole business what the latest update or the latest change is, it just doesn't work. It's not fit for purpose, because the recipients of those emails, a lot of them are PRs or media buyers, they don't have the technical, functional or strategic knowledge to contextualize what the latest algorithm change is and why that impacts the client. We have an entire team here, from the designers in the studio, account handlers, insights, leadership. Everyone is looking at this challenge on a day-to-day basis. This wonderful challenge about how do we understand the changes, how do we impact those with clients, how do we deliver them. Let's not forget, we're Facebook partners as well. So we have Facebook proactively bringing this information to us before it goes out to the public domain. And even with that amazing support structure, the brilliant support that Facebook brings with our partner status, we struggle to keep on top of the daily changes. So for one person to do this within a business, for one person to do it for one client, let alone a roster of clients, it's an impossible task. And brands waking up to this. They know that they need a team to challenge the thinking and rationale and move their agenda forward. It's just not a one-person task anymore. I don't think it ever was, but it definitely isn't.
So I guess some people might argue that there are enough resources and tools out there for one person to do it. Do you disagree?
Oh, 100%. And a lot of the people that take up these roles, this isn't a knock against young people. I want to be really clear on this. We've got a lot of wonderful young talent coming through the ranks. Digital natives, people that have grown up with technology. They've got this wonderful knowledge about how to use technology and get the most out of it. But they're still finding their way in industry. They've not developed the strategic nous. They've not had the benefit of experience for little things to help them understand the questions that they should be asking a client. If you frame the right questions and you solve the right questions, you can overcome the right challenges for clients. So a lot of these junior roles, these kind of social media experts, and I cringe when I say that because they're really not experts. These are people that have done maybe one or two social media campaigns. Their role was largely a content calendar creation and then measuring the impact of that calendar. They've certainly not done any of the strategic stuff. They won't have looked at the stuff that will be absolutely alien to them will be everything from insights to content pillars, strategic positioning, audience insights, the 12-week calendar versus the 12-month calendar, the analysis and measurement framework. How do we prove value back to the board to confirm that investment at scale in social is a no-brainer? And this is just the stuff that I'm firing off the top of my head, right? Once you get into deep strategy, there is a whole load more stuff that needs to be challenged. And you can only do that if you've got a team that firstly understands social and understands how to impact social, but then how to move it forward. Our most gifted person here, if I gave them Sprinklr, which I think we'd all agree is probably the best / most expensive tool in marketing, could you imagine one person with Sprinklr having to service all of our clients? It's an impossible task. What do you do? Do you focus on your scheduling, your content calendar creation, but then you're not taking your head up and you're not looking at the strategic positioning of where the client's going. You're not looking at the keywords, the propositions, the conversations that we should be playing into and owning. You haven't even thought about what's needed to not just attack category, but ultimately go and own it and win in category. You're so busy just scheduling posts or resharing the most impactful content that you've not done any of the strategic stuff. And again, I come from a PR and a creative agency background. This is absolutely not an attack on my peers. But back in my PR days, when it was about directing PR programs, I absolutely was not thinking, what are the keywords and the insights within this digital conversation that we should play in and own? I certainly wasn't looking at how content pillars within the organisation are fit for purpose to be exploited on. I was focusing, and rightly so, I was focusing on shaping the narrative for the press agenda and owning it and leading it. So I get why CEOs want to diversify their agencies, and they absolutely have to because the comms and marketing landscapes are changing. But they've got to do more than just hiring one person to deliver on social. That's like ticking a box to go and say to your clients, we've got a social team. You haven't. You've got a social junior, somebody that's probably got great talent and potential. But you're setting them up for failure. You've not got anyone mentoring them. You've not got anyone challenging them. You've not got anyone sort of moving things on. So it's definitely a team task, no doubt about it.
So teamwork makes the dream work.
It really does. And it sounds really cliche, but we get asked a lot, how did you win best use of social media advertising 2 years on the spin? Why did you win campaign strategy of the year last year? How did you deliver 500,000 video views from exclusively CEOs and CTOs for Fujitsu? The answer to all of that is we innovated, challenged and created as a team. We looked at the problem. Can we take stuff from B2C and go and tear it up in B2B? It took weeks, if not months, to rationalize what the tactic was that could get us cut through. Then we had to look at the strategic rationale of presenting that to the client. So we did great things here, but it's not one person. It's never, ever one person doing great things here. It's very much a team approach and a team answer to it. And without that, it's just placing too much pressure on a single resource. I mean, you think algorithm changes. Last year, in October, where there was the big algorithm change, we had the studio working exclusively on how can we take flat visuals and turn them into motion so we're not blowing clients' budgets. We had the account servicing teams figuring out what that meant from ad treatments. What does that mean from copy? Do we need to extend copy? What are we tracking? I mean, we haven't even spoken about content strategies and what's different for Facebook to Snapchat, for example. There are so many questions that you need a team to answer it. We have a philosophy here at Immediate Future: everything and nothing has changed in social. I realise a lot of people are watching this probably thinking, WTF, that just doesn't make sense. So let me explain. The everything part that's changed, these are the digital channels, the algorithm changes, the ad treatment changes, the audience growth, measurement, functionality. The digital element is the everything that's changed. The nothing that's changed, these are the fundamental principles of marketing, which have been in existence since marketing first came about. So whether you're crafting a Campbell soup print ad in 1967, or you're designing a Facebook canvas ad for Princess Cruises in 2018, your principles are exactly the same. You need to truly understand your primary, secondary, and tertiary audiences. What are those personas? What are their triggers? And then what's the content that you're producing that's ultimately going to influence buying behavior based on those triggers? And whilst the new generation coming through, they have wonderful knowledge around technology. They've got great enthusiasm, great drive. They've grown up within social, so they really are native users of it. And they could have gone and aced their degree at university, right? They could have all of that. There's still an element that they need to learn from experience, from strategy, stakeholder engagement. It's wrong to expect that they can do all of that. In years, they probably will be able to do all of that, and probably be able to do it better than I could now. They're undoubtedly going to move the benchmark forward. But we need to help our young talent coming through. We need to work with them. We need to support them, and agencies need to stop relying on them. A one-person potential talent is not a social media team, and it's wrong that they keep saying to clients that we've got a social first proposition when 99% of their team are either PRs or media buyers. They're not content agencies. They want to be content agencies, but they've got to generate the revenues to then fund the investment in personnel, to then buy in the knowledge, and then buy in the systems to actually go and deliver on it. We don't get distracted by any other aspect of digital. We solely look at digital through the lens of social. So we park the distractions of SEO, PPC, display, just looking at one vertical with an entire business full of people. We still struggle to keep up to speed with the change. It's a team sport, and you need a team to go and address it.
So the key takeaway here is if you have the right structure to your social team, then you should be delivering impactful and insightful campaigns.
Absolutely. It's the same with any marketing. But you need knowledge. You then need creativity. You need time to invent and time to challenge. You need time to get things wrong, right? Fail fast, learn from it. And then if you do all of that, you probably do have an award-winning outcome that's ultimately going to impact your business and drive some commercial benefit. It took 14 years of our agency experience before we got to a point where we went and delivered £2.4 million of sale for a TV proposition over a 16-week window. To get that level of commercial return, that wasn't something we just fell on. That was using all of our experience and challenging all of the resources. The art of the possible is amazing, and great things can happen. But you need the right questions, the right team, and then you've got to rise to that challenge of overcoming those challenges. And if you do that, amazing things can happen on social. But if you try and do that with one person, whilst your team's still delivering your narrative on PR, still buying your media, sourcing the creative for the display proposition, you're never, ever, ever going to deliver on it. And that's my prime message. A one-player football team will never be bought.
So it looks like we've got the right setting for a great team then.
I hope so, but I'm probably biased on that. And when I say what you really need is immediate future to come and fix all of this, I've obviously got a biased judgment on that, but you really do need immediate future to go and fix this for you.
Okay. Thank you for tuning in today. If you want to watch any of our other Serious Social videos, they're all online on our website, or if you search the hashtag Serious Social. Thanks for watching.